We're going to be going over all the things sleep. I'm going to recap some of the announcements there that I gave you guys yesterday, I believe, on our sleep challenge because it's October now. And that means we do throughout the year, we do a bunch of different challenges for having people make better and better choices throughout the year. We're really going to dive into all things sleep pretty heavily here because people, as you'll see, um, do all the wrong things to set themselves up to have poor nights of sleep, which that's why a lot of these things are super important. But for our very first, basically, slide of the day, which is this sleep deprivation. And I mean, for a lot of the causal factors here, yes, some of them may be you may have just had a kid and now that's keeping you up. But that's not everybody. There's a lot of reasons that people can have sleep deprivation or a lack of sleep there. Sometimes, though, and even more common than not, than the newborn babies, it's that you're intentionally staying up too late. So that's not good. And there's people that, maybe trying to get good sleep and go to bed on time, but then they can't fall asleep. So we'll cover those types of individuals too. But cool in the fact that when you don't get enough sleep, it is detrimental to your well being. And just 24 hours of sleep, you can compare somebody to having a blood alcohol level of zero point 0.1, which this is way beyond the legal limit in most states. So it's very important, and why I wanted to get into this here today, because I mean, I've been in grad school, I've had my fair share of late nights, and you feel horrible the next day. And now you start to lose out on things like brain function too, because sleep deprivation it's not just like for the cellular repair and the rebuilding and all the healing that takes place. It is very much needed for your brain and to have normal function throughout the day and not have, crazy symptoms and things. A lot of people don't realize that we see cortisol elevate in stress hormones and things, but also you'll be more irritable. So when you're not getting enough sleep, you are not only less motivated, but now you have increased stress hormones and you're more irritable. And of course, with that, you don't want to cook. But also, something that nobody that I know likes is gaining weight. So, of course, with that high cortisol, we're going to get some sugar cravings. And you'll see that start to turn into weight gain. Also, elevated cancer risks too here. And of course, with sleep, we get a ton of cellular repair that takes place when you are sleeping enough, because there is a large immune response that happens there, as well as largely melatonin having a big factor in delivering antioxidants, which help prevent things like this. A good night of sleep, and what this looks like, is really 4 to 5 full sleep cycles. So, people, please realize that we all need sleep. Um, and women actually need more sleep than men do, which people typically think it's the other way around. But so that women can build up enough hormonal reserves, this is super important that you're at least getting 8. I mean, you could get away with 8 as a female, but you should be aiming for 9 to 10. And for guys here, we could get away with 6 or 7, but we should be shooting for 8 because, I mean, you can't get that many REM cycles in if you're going less than that. Well, your overall quality of life for one reason, and we have important immune responses that take place overnight. So have you ever noticed that um, when you get sick, you want to be in bed all day? You're really tired. Your body's like, "Hey, sit the heck down. Get your butt in bed because in order to do all this healing, in order to get you back to 100%, we need to shut you down for a minute there." But obviously, there's benefits to the heart, to motivation, energy, drive, and all the beautiful things that tag along with this. So, super important stuff. So, with our physiology of sleep, we got, again, lack of sleep. We're going to see several things affected here. You're going to see higher amounts of stress hormones, things like cortisol and epinephrine. And even a reduction in melatonin production here, because melatonin and cortisol, which you'll see in a minute, have an inverse relationship. So when cortisol goes up, melatonin goes down.